Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And let's make Boba Fett a badass again.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So this is Temuera Morrison, who seems very, very, very disappointed in how Boba Fett was handled in the Book of Boba Fett.
He's been saying it.
He's been saying it now. Some more comments are coming out.
Him and everybody else are disappointed.
Yeah, it's so weird. I mean, remember when if you complained at all about Disney Star Wars, you were like a literal Yahtzee? You know, we've got Comic Book Resources just a couple months ago putting up 10 reasons why the Book of Boba Fett disappointed fans.
10 times. Yeah, you know what? That's because they're clearly istophobic.
Clearly
they hate non-white people.
So
misogyny.
Even though Temuera Morrison's not a white guy.
It doesn't matter. That's logical. You just, they tell me that I hate women. So,
Well, here's the thing. This I thought was pretty interesting, and this actually is going to tie into all of it. Pimp Master Broda, howdy, who's out on Twitter. Hello. Retweeting that Elon Musk is going to do something about the Stan armies, the bot armies on Twitter. And
good. Someone needs to.
And I think a lot of this faux outrage over backlash against Disney Star Wars is going to correct itself, because a lot of the articles that are written about the toxic fans or the Nazis or whatever, they come from these Stan accounts trying to paint anybody that says anything negative about Disney Star Wars as being some kind of like fringe alt-right extremist.
Funny, I've told you guys before, speaking of Disney and on Twitter and stuff, when I used to do numbers, like I would track competitors like for our blog, and I would do their numbers and stuff. And Twitter, they had a couple years ago, they did a big purge where they purged a lot of people. But I was looking at and seeing where their sources were coming from. And on Disney's own Twitter account, I was finding these links that I was seeing in other celebrities' accounts. And basically, they're not even real accounts. Like, they have all these retweets, but they barely tweet because all they do is retweet celebrities because they're paid to just retweet celebrities. They are just fake accounts just made to try to make these celebrities, and Disney was one of the ones on the thing, look bigger than they were by promoting their tweets and make it look like they had extra followers, and they really didn't have. They weren't real. And that's kind of what I think was going on here.
Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting because they're supposedly going to
defend Disney at all costs.
Defend Disney at all costs. It's going to be really interesting if somehow they can trace this back to these studios. Just, using...
If he does, he'll put it on, he'll post it.
He will. Musk would. He'd be like, hey, there are all these accounts, like we banned 5,000 bot accounts that we've traced back to like the Walt Disney Company or some garbage like that.
It'll be some company there'll be some company that's doing this for Hollywood, that the Hollywood hires them.
Yeah.
To go out there and do damage control or to, retweet stuff or whatever.
But it would be really interesting if it turns out that a lot of them are all like working for studios exclusively. Like these accounts basically just, repeat crap from studio lines, and it's all this backlash against Star Wars fans who were understandably disappointed was all fake, or a lot of it was fake.
Probably, because we saw so much. And then the next question is, when they're going about people being harassed, I'm not saying people weren't given racist comments or whatever. I believe that they truly were, but wouldn't it be interesting if some of the ones they were bots and it was just for appearance sake, so they could just they hate this show before it starts because of racism.
It would be really interesting if they tracked some of the accounts that were pro Disney Star Wars by their IP address, and then they were also, the same IP address was also sending a bunch of hate toward Kelly Marie Tran.
Or something like that.
To try to create faux outrage,
I would think more with the Moses Ingram thing, but that's,
yeah, Moses Ingram.
I'm not saying that no one said anything racist, because I don't believe for 1 minute that people didn't. I think that they totally said it. I just don't think it was, I think it was a couple people, not in the levels they're trying to argue. But yeah, so here we have Temuera Morrison talking about the fact that he kind of wants Boba Fett to be Boba Fett, which is something he said several times. And when the Boba Fett show came out, it was very boring. He even, I remember seeing interviews where he said, hey, we should have him doing more and saying less.
Yeah.
And he was too busy talking all the time.
Yeah, and look, they've completely nerfed Boba Fett. They just had the new Slave One come out, but it's renamed Boba Fett Starship, or the Fire Spray.
Fire Spray, that's what they call it. But that's a type of ship, I thought.
It's like calling Kit the Trans Am.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what they're doing. So anyway, yeah, he came out and said to Entertainment Tonight that he hopes that his legendary bounty hunter returns to his badass ways.
Don't we all?
That's what everybody expected. I mean, everybody thought that the Book of Boba Fett was going to be like the Mandalorian plus. Like the Mandalorian was what we expected to see from Boba Fett. And when they did Boba Fett show, Boba Fett was actually pretty badass in that show. It's like, yeah, they do more of that. That's going to be pretty cool. No,
well, at least they didn't bring in, another woman. I mean, we have Fennec, but I'm saying another person and being like, it's his sister and she's better and greater and everything than he is.
Booby Fett.
Booby Fett.
It's his sister, Booby Fett. After the finale of the Disney...
He couldn't have a sister, but that's another story entirely.
Yeah. Well,
because he's a clone.
Yes, but this one was a very progressive clone. They made a couple,
that's right.
Couple of tweaks to a couple of chromosomes. The one in particular, and now we have Booby Fett.
Booby Fett.
Booby Fett. That's how that works. After the finale of the Disney Plus solo outing left Fett's story open, like a wound, Morrison revealed his desire to return somewhere and see the old Boba Fett.
We all want that.
We've got to bring him back somewhere. We've got to see the old Boba Fett.
Agreed.
Star Wars actor added fans have found out some stuff about the character and campaign to get him back to his badass ways. We reintroduced him. We found out some stuff, but I think it's time to get him back to his badass ways. No two ways around that. Mm-hmm. I think we sort of have that scope to go back there, but that's out of my control. I'll just see what happens.
That's it. It's out of his control, but he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Now, they're saying that there has not been a second season.
There probably won't be.
Book of Boba Fett has been laughing stock, but it's actually... It still had more viewers than some of the more recent shows. Mm-hmm. And I think because of the Book of Boba Fett being such a massive letdown, people tuned out from other Star Wars shows. Yeah. That's my opinion.
But that's okay. We're getting the Acolyte.
Oh, boy.
Yay.
So here are, according to CBR, this is a couple of months ago, but they said here are 10 times the Book of Boba Fett disappointed
Only
Star Wars.
10?
Were there, how many episodes were there?
I don't know. I didn't watch all of it.
That would be 10.
After the first couple, I was like, nope.
I watched the first 2 and I noped out. I'm like, this is boring as hell.
This is not Boba Fett. Don't care.
Tusken Raiders were killed off. Boba Fett's lack of a clear motive.
That's true from what I've seen.
What was he doing? Like, I don't even understand.
He wants to be a crime boss now for whatever reason.
But he wants to be a kinder, gentler crime boss.
I don't know.
I want them to respect and like me. I want them to respect everybody else's pronouns too.
That's not him. That's Lucasfilm.
The quick transition to post-Mandalorian season 2. The relationship between Fennec and Boba. They didn't ship them.
I don't know. Why is it? I don't know. I didn't get that far.
They said fans awaiting the Book of Boba Fett hope to see a meaningful start to their relationship, but the show didn't deliver.
They're mad they didn't ship him?
Fennec decides to stay with Boba mostly for what she perceives to be a tactical advantage. Their relationship lacks depth. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
They wanted some deepness.
They wanted some deepness. The Hutt family was no threat.
Well, they can't even get off this. They can't even get up.
Okay, so here's the thing. When I was a kid, I never understood Jabba the Hutt. I'm like, why does everybody listen to this fat ass? He can't even move. He literally...
But he'll turn on him and be done.
Like... seriously, like Jabba the Hutt could be like, oh, if you don't do this, you're gonna die. Ha ha ha. I'm like, what are you gonna do? Chase me down the street, fatty? You're not doing shit. You just sit in your damn throne and eat your damn frogs. Maybe his
throne moves fast. I don't know. He's gonna tongue you.
Oh my God. Well, that's what he was doing the Leia. But no, like I was really confused by that when I was a kid because they build up Jabba the Hutt. Now I was too small to see the original Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back in theater, but I saw him before Jedi. That was the first one I think I went to go see. I don't remember. But I was like, okay, so they keep talking about this Jabba the Hutt character, and everybody's like the neighbor kid, he was really into Star Wars, and he was like 4 or 5 years older than I was, and he's like, oh my God, they're going to show Jabba the Hutt. I'm like, yay, who is Jabba? Yeah. Oh, it's this guy that Han Solo's running from. He's going to be a badass. It's going to be Boba Fett works for him. It's going to be this whole thing. And then we see Jabba the Hutt. I'm like, what the hell was that? Like, what was that? He's just like, I mean, I like Jabba the Hutt. I had the toy of Jabba the Hutt. But I remember when I was a kid, I was like, I was trying to play Jabba the Hutt. I'm like, I don't know what to make him do because he can't move. And then the special editions came out. I'm like, oh, he can move. Kind of. Why are people so afraid of these Hutts? Like, seriously, just...
I don't know. They're afraid they're going to eat your family.
Yeah, like I never understood that. Anyway, flashbacks went nowhere. That is a very Disney Star Wars thing. Mm-hmm. What else we have? Only the Pikes were involved.
Didn't even see the
Give a
episode.
shit. The mods, yes. Thank you. Yes, this whole thing. This was ridiculous. Where they had the multicolored Power Ranger bikes, and these guys did not look like they belonged in Star Wars at all. And it was like, this is not Star Wars. Cad Bane's death, that was stupid. They built it up to be like, Cad Bane's coming. Oh boy. Yeah. The Mandalorian took over the show. Yes, the only 2 episodes I saw the first episode, and I watched the episode with the Mandalorian because it basically was another episode of the Mandalorian. Boba Fett wasn't even in it. I mean, the best episode of Boba Fett didn't even have Boba Fett in it. And that's pretty damn sad. And this should have been Boba Fett. Like, it should have been, his character should have been.
Supposed to be.
It should have been him versus the Mandalorian. Like, who's the better Mando?
The Mandalorian was supposed to be the Boba Fett movie, and then it got turned into the Mandalorian show.
So they did something different with Boba Fett, but they turned him into a character that's not Boba Fett. So what you do is you have Boba Fett either teaming up with this guy long term or becoming a bitter rival, and then you got Fett on Mando action going on. You
allowed to show that?
I don't know if you can show that. I'm sure the shippers would love that, though.
I'm sure it's out there if you look. We're not gonna look.
No, don't look.
I'm
Don't
sure
Google
there's stuff
that.
with Jabba the Hutt if you look too, but we're not gonna.
Yeah, I just had some AI art pop into my brain, and I don't want that there. So we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see a lot of Star Wars actors grousing.
Well, I think it's cool that he's out there saying it.
Yeah.
Like he said it even when the show was out. He said it then too, and it's like, but he was right.
He was right, and so were the fans.
So I'll give him that. He's got the balls to say it, and he should.
He's Boba Fett, man. All right.
He's more badass than Boba Fett was.
He is.
That's saying something.
All right, guys. So wrap it up. Please subscribe. Talk to you later.
Bye.